America's newest arrivals emerge from below decks to watch as the ship glides closer to shore. Castle Garden, the U.S.'s busiest immigrant intake center, slowly emerges from the mist. Over the next few decades, so many would come to these shores that Castle Garden would be replaced with the larger Ellis Island Center. Among the new arrivals are Bridget McCarthy and her cousin Flynn. They are hoping for a better life and plenty of work. Bridget's older brother John left for the U.S. nearly 10 years before, at the height of the Irish potato famine. Though he struggled along with millions of other Irish laborers, he finally was able to save passage for his sister and cousin. Bridget and Flynn can't wait to see him again. But things start to go wrong immediately.
Bridget, go to 5 Points and find your brother.
Bridget has no choice but to press on by herself to find her brother John.
Wagons! Lower East Side! Wagons to the Lower East Side!
Bridget heads to a place called 5 Points, where John's letter said he is living at a boarding house run by a Mrs. Lafferty.
The new one, eh? Fresh off the boat, I see. It looks like you survived the crossing all right. You looking for work? Need a place to lay your head? Follow me. I'll take care of you.
Bridget soon finds Mrs. Lafferty, who runs the 5 Points boarding house. Instead of a reunion, Bridget gets the second shock of her life that day. Mrs. Lafferty has not seen John for nearly 2 months and doesn't know what has happened to him. Bridget is on her own and needs to find a job quickly.
There. Don't you cry, little miss. Maybe your brother will come back. We've not seen him, but maybe you can ask at the mission. They often get word if a man was hurt or killed doing labouring work, so they can try to reach the family back home. If he owed money, he could be at the almshouse where they house the needy and the drunks. You can't do anything tonight. I'll take you upstairs to my friend Mrs. Sullivan. She sometimes takes in young ladies who don't have anybody.
Bridget is up early. It's been several days since she arrived. As usual, the streets are brimming with people of all kinds. Bridget is getting used to seeing black people. She even met Miss Abigail, who helps to raise money for the colored orphanage, and was kind enough to recommend Bridget to an acquaintance who was looking for a new housemaid. The aroma of unfamiliar foods reminds Bridget of how hungry she is. She nibbles on a piece of bread as she tries to get her bearings. Bridget has to find out what happened to John. Mrs. Lafferty had suggested she ask at the mission. But where is that? Mrs. Lafferty also told her to watch out for pickpockets and other scoundrels who prey on new immigrants.
Get your paper here. Conscription Act approved by Congress. Lincoln says all northern men have to join the fight. Get your paper. Only 3 cents. 1,600 men killed and fighting in Tennessee. More than 350 rebels killed.
Oh, hello. I remember you from the ship. Oh, you won't believe what has happened in these few days since our ship arrived. My brother John sent for me and my cousin Flynn, and we came over together. But as soon as we landed at Castle Garden, Flynn was carried off by a policeman and another man. He said he was joining the Union Army to fight the Confederates. Can you believe such a thing? I nearly fainted. That's not all. When I got to the boarding house where John's letter said he was staying, the lady there said she hadn't seen John in nearly 2 months. Had no idea where he was. Didn't know if he was dead or alive. Oh, thank the good Lord, I found employment and will start as a housekeeper for a family tomorrow. That gives me just today to try and find out what happened to John. Do you know where the mission is? Would you come with me to find it? Maybe I can get some answers there. Mrs. Lafferty told me that they often get word if a working man was hurt or killed.
Gage paper here. Conscription Act approved by Congress. Lincoln says all northern men have to join the fight. Gage paper, only 3 cents. 1,600 men fighting in Tennessee. 350 rebels.
Bridget and her friend arrive at the mission, and she explains to the official there that she is looking for her brother. She gives him her brother's name and shows him the letter John had sent her in late January, along with money for her and Flynn's passage. She tells the clerk when John was last seen. Bridget shows the clerk records from the Emigrant Savings Bank that showed John had been making regular deposits, the last on January 30th. The clerk checks for John's name in his books, but has nothing. Then he said something that first sent joy through Bridget's body, then knee-buckling fear.
That amount deposited means he was probably working on the Central Park expansion. That's approximately what they pay the laborers, and he would have put it in his account after keeping a few dollars for boarding and food. To be frank, miss, the Central Park expansion is a good-paying job, but it is dangerous work. There were 2 major accidents early in the year, right around the time you said your brother went missing. Several men were killed, and about a dozen others seriously hurt when dynamite used to break up boulders exploded before the men had time to take cover. It is quite possible that your brother was killed that way. It would have been hard to identify the remains. I'm sorry I don't have any more information, miss. Even if he was badly hurt, there may not have been anyone who knew him, so we could write to family in Ireland.
The clerk suggests Bridget inquire at Blackwell Island, at the charity hospital, or the asylum. A man with head injuries, or missing limbs, or sight might be there. Another dead end. Bridget is back to where she started. But looking for John would have to wait. Her new life as a maid for the Cabbage Stalk family starts first thing in the morning.